Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm your host, Nina.
And I'm Matt. And today we're looking at part 2 of our article, The Penguin of Nankan River.
Yes, so speaking of penguins, it reminds me of just seeing wildlife in Taiwan.
Right, well this person, in part 1 we learned that they thought they saw a penguin, so they thought they saw this wild penguin, but it was just an animal that does live in Taiwan, this night heron.
Exactly. What about you? Have you seen any more unique animals in the wild?
Well, coming from Canada where we don't have monkeys, I always love seeing monkeys in the wild here in Taiwan. So, I've seen them all many places, but one place in particular was when I went to Kaohsiung, and there's an area which people refer to as Monkey Mountain, and you can go up to the mountain and there's monkeys everywhere and they're stealing people's food and people's things, and you have to be very careful that you don't have any food that they could grab or take away from you.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, I have seen cows up in Yangming Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, so I believe it's called Qingtiangang, and it's known for the cows up there. So you can go there and just, not pet the cows, but you can see them, and it's quite an interesting experience.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not sure if they are wild or they belong to someone, but no one's there tending to them. And Yangming Mountain is such a big place, so they're just kind of doing their thing, walking around.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, these are some interesting animals you can see, but unfortunately you can't see penguins, but you can see night herons, and we're going to learn more about them today.
Okay.
There's more to the black-crowned night heron than its similarity to a penguin. These clever birds are known for their hunting skills. They eat fish, frogs, insects, and other small animals. The night heron usually hunts by standing very still at the edge of water, waiting patiently for animals to come closer. Then, it quickly grabs its prey with its sharp beak. Some night herons are even smart enough to use bread or small objects as bait to attract fish, a rare example of birds using tools.
Welcome back to day 2 of The Penguin of Nankan River. Okay, let's learn more about this black-crowned night heron.
Okay, there's more to the black-crowned night heron than its similarity to a penguin. Okay, so it's not just about its similarity to a penguin. It's not only that, there is more to it. So it's a more interesting bird than just that.
Okay, let's learn more about it. These clever birds are known for their hunting skills. They eat fish, frogs, insects, and other small animals. Okay, so it sounds like they are pretty good predators.
The night heron usually hunts by standing very still at the edge of water, waiting patiently for animals to come closer. Then it quickly grabs its prey with its sharp beak. Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty scary.
Yeah, very skilled.
Okay, so to grab something means to take hold of something, usually quickly and usually roughly. So you're not taking gentle care with how you're going to hold that thing. And if you're hunting like the night heron is, it doesn't really worry about hurting the things it's grabbing with its beak. So it's taking hold of something and not in a gentle way.
Okay.
An example sentence, he tried to grab the cup before it fell off the table.
Okay, so we know that it has skills to get its prey, right?
Yeah, it's able to use its beak to hunt, and it's also got this hunting technique of staying quiet and still and letting things just come to it.
Exactly. All right, let's learn more about it once we go to Hanny. Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续来介绍夜鹭这种聪明又有趣的鸟类。课文提到，夜鹭的特别之处不只是长得跟企鹅相似而已，它们以捕猎技巧闻名，会吃鱼类、青蛙、昆虫和其他小动物。夜鹭通常就站在水边一动也不动，耐心的等待动物靠近，然后会用尖锐的鸟喙迅速抓住这个猎物。好 ，grab 这个动词就表示迅速抓住或是拿取。Matt 老师在解释单字时有用到 take hold of，take hold of 就可以表达抓住，它也有掌控的意思。补充单字 prey。Prey 表示猎物，被捕食的动物。那相反的，我们可以用到 predator 这个字 ，Predator。Predator 表示掠食性动物或是掠食者。Nina 老师刚刚还用到 skilled 来描述夜鹭的捕猎技巧。好 ，skilled S-K-I-L-L-E-D， 它可以形容是熟练的、有技能的。这边还有一个重点是 ，There's more to somebody or something than……这表示某人事物不只有……而已。这个句型常常用来强调某事物具有深藏不露的特质，或者是某人他拥有更多内涵、能力等等。举例来说 ，There's more to life than making a living。生活并不是只有赚钱谋生而已。这句话课文中。Continuing, some night herons are even smart enough to use bread or small objects as bait to attract fish, a rare example of birds using tools. Wow, that's actually very, very cool. I've never heard of a bird using bait. So bait is food used to catch animals or fish. Like when we go fishing, we will put bait on the hook and then we start fishing. So the fish will come to it. For example, the trap had a piece of cheese as bait for the mouse. Okay, so night herons actually use bait like bread to attract fish to them. So that's one of the ways that their prey comes to them so that they can grab it, right?
That's right. So to attract something means to cause something to move towards something else or to want to move towards something else. So when something is attracted, it just feels like it needs to go to someone. If you are attracted to another person, that means you like them a lot and you want to go towards them probably. Okay, so an example sentence for attract: bright lights attract many bugs at night. All right, let's go to Hanny.
刚刚说夜鹭以捕猎技巧闻名，那有些夜鹭甚至聪明到会用面包啊或是小物体来当作诱饵吸引鱼。那这是鸟类使用工具很罕见的例子。好，我们看单字 bait。Bait 表示饵、诱饵，它可以当可数或是不可数名词用。Attract 是动词，表示吸引或是引起什么的兴趣或注意。这边还有一个重点是，我们可以用形容词或副词加上 enough， 再加 to 加原形动词，表达足够怎么样可以做某事。Enough 表示足够，在这边是当副词，可以把它摆在形容词或副词之后去做修饰。例如 ，Max is tall enough to touch the ceiling. Max 够高，能摸到天花板。好，这句话课文中。
Okay, so we've learned that these night herons are very smart birds because, using tools is something that we can kind of use to measure animals' intelligence. And many people might think that only the most intelligent animals like chimpanzees and some other apes are using tools, but in fact, there are some birds that are able to use tools.
Yeah, that is actually extremely cool. I didn't know that night herons could do that.
Yeah, in the past I had heard about crows using some tools. So crows are able to use tools. They're very smart birds. But I had not heard that there were other smart birds like this night heron, and it makes it even more interesting.
Definitely. All right, let's go to the second part of the article and we'll be right back.
Night herons are social birds that often live in groups, and they can build many nests in the same tree. What makes these birds even more unusual is that they may feed any hungry chick that looks for food, not just their own babies. This behavior shows how these birds work together as a community. Though they may look strange and be mistaken for other birds, the black-crowned night heron is still an interesting bird that is worth our attention.
Welcome back. So before the break, we learned a bit more about night herons, including about how they hunt or how they get food. So they will stand very still at the edge of water and wait for prey to come to them before they grab them with their sharp beaks. And they also are able to use bait. So they're able to use food like bread or other things to attract their prey to them or attract fish to the edge of the water. And this is very interesting because it is an example of a bird using tools.
Yeah, so that means they're very smart animals, actually. All right, continuing about night herons. Night herons are social birds that often live in groups. And they can build many nests in the same tree. Okay, so they're social. Social means liking to be with other people, or in this case, with other animals. And for example, bees are social insects that live together in large numbers. Okay, so we learned that not only are they smart and they have hunting skills, night herons are also social birds. Okay, so we know they're social because they can have many nests in the same tree. So a nest is a structure that is chosen or built by an egg-laying animal so that they can lay their eggs there. So you might think of a typical bird's nest that is made of, branches and twigs, and it's a circular formation with a hole in the middle for the eggs and eventually the baby birds to be fed by their mother in the nest. So an example sentence, some birds return to the same nest every year. Right.
So back to this article, what makes these birds even more unusual is that they may feed any hungry chick that looks for food, not just their own babies.
Oh, so not only do they hunt and feed their own children, they will also feed any hungry baby or baby bird, which we call chicks, if they're hungry. That's so nice.
It is nice, but it seems like not a good strategy for
their own children.
For their own children, or for that bird. They're wasting food on other people's children. But I guess they're being nice, and maybe that's more part of them being a social animal.
I wonder if I'm sure they can tell if it's their own chick or not, right?
I think so.
Okay, so they're just social animals and they take care of each other.
That's right. Well, let's go to Henny.
夜鹭是群居的鸟类，经常群体生活，而且它们可能会在同一棵树上筑许多巢。很不寻常的是，它们可能不只喂自己的宝宝，还会去喂任何寻找食物的饥饿雏鸟。好，我们来看单字 social。social 可以形容动物是群居的，也可以形容社会性的。nest 这个名词表示鸟类或昆虫的巢或是窝。Matt 老师在讲到筑巢的时候，他有提到 twig 这个字 ，twig twig 这个名词，它表示细枝或是嫩枝。那我们接着回到课文中。
All right. This behavior shows how these birds work together as a community. Okay, so this behavior meaning the fact that night herons will feed not only their own chicks, but other parents' chicks, right? Okay, so this behavior is the way someone acts. So in this case, the fact that they fed other chicks. For example, his good behavior made the teacher happy. Okay.
All right, continuing on. Though they may look strange and be mistaken for other birds, the black-crowned night heron is still an interesting bird that is worth our attention. Okay, so did they look strange? I didn't think they look that strange. I think they do look a bit like a penguin, but that's not strange.
Yeah.
Penguins are cute. Who wouldn't want to look like a penguin?
Indeed.
And it's gotten our attention because we're reading an article about it now.
Exactly. So we learned so much about it, and it's definitely an interesting bird.
All right, well, let's go to Henny.
刚刚说夜鹭除了喂自己的宝宝，还可能会去喂其他饥饿的雏鸟。那这样的行为展现了这种鸟类群体合作的方式。看了这2天的课文，我们可以了解到夜鹭是很聪明、独特又很有趣的鸟类，很值得我们关注。我们最后来看单字 behavior。它是名词，表示行为举止。那这边还用到一个重点是 be worth 加上名词或动名词，表示值得什么的，值得做什么的。来看2个例句 ：The town is definitely worth a visit。那座城镇绝对值得造访。The night market is worth checking out。那个夜市值得去看一看。好，那我们接着回到课文中。
Okay, now we have a what do you think?What do you think is the most interesting thing about black-crowned night herons? What about you, Matt? What do you think?
Well, I think I've said it already, but I do think the most interesting thing that I have learned from this about these black-crowned night herons is that they can use tools. So it means they're much smarter than I thought they were. And the fact that they can actually hunt by using tools is very impressive and I think also very interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think that is the most surprising thing and interesting thing I learned about these black-crowned night herons. So definitely very impressive, and we hope that you learned a lot about night herons too.
That's right. I'm going to be looking out for anything that looks like a penguin next time I'm near some water. So
yeah, that's going to be fun.
All right. Well, let's review the article again, but we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
There's more to the black-crowned night heron than its similarity to a penguin. These clever birds are known for their hunting skills. They eat fish, frogs, insects, and other small animals. The night heron usually hunts by standing very still at the edge of water, waiting patiently for animals to come closer. Then, it quickly grabs its prey with its sharp beak. Some night herons are even smart enough to use bread or small objects as bait to attract fish, a rare example of birds using tools. Night herons are social birds that often live in groups, and they can build many nests in the same tree. What makes these birds even more unusual is that they may feed any hungry chick that looks for food, not just their own babies. This behavior shows how these birds work together as a community. Though they may look strange and be mistaken for other birds, the black-crowned night heron is still an interesting bird that is worth our attention.
最后，我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 grab 动词，它表示迅速抓住、拿取； bait 名词表示饵、诱饵，它可以当可数或不可数用； attract 动词，它表示吸引、引起什么的兴趣或注意； social 它可以形容动物是群居的，也可以形容社会性的； nest 名词，它可以指鸟类或昆虫的巢或是窝。好，文法的部分我们第一个学到 There's more to somebody or something than 可以表达某人事物不只有而已。那这个句型常用来强调某事物具有深藏不露的特质，或者是某人他拥有更多的内涵、能力等等。第二个我们学到形容词或副词加上 enough 加上 to 加原形动词，这可以表达足够怎么样可以做某事。第三个我们学到 be worth 加上名词或动名词，这是表达值得什么的，值得做什么的。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。
Hey, 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 it's Kiwi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie, and today we are going to see some really cute animals.
Yes, we're going to see my favorite animal, but we have to be quiet because they sleep all day.
They are, of course, koalas.
Shh, let's go.
So, Koalas are marsupials, and marsupials are animals that raise their young in their built-in pouches. You might know another marsupial, which is a kangaroo. So koalas are actually folivores. They eat eucalyptus leaves.
In order for them to digest it, they need to sleep. So as you can see, the koalas are sleeping. Now, the interesting thing is, because the leaf is toxic or poisonous, when they eat it, their meat becomes toxic too. So predators don't want to eat them. I'm so excited that we got to spend some time to see my favorite koalas. But I would like to take this opportunity to remind everyone watching that koalas, they're also animals that we have to look out for because they're starting to get close to being endangered.
That's all we have for today. Please follow us on Instagram and send us a DM or an email if you have something you want to say in English and you just don't know how to. Kiki, anything you want to say?
Well, thanks for spending some quality time with us.
Kiwi later.